I'm going to tell you something that sounds completely backwards, but being dumb can make you rich in sales. Not because ignorance is profitable, but because the smartest salespeople, they often fall into a trap that leads them to their downfall. I'm going to talk about why the highest paid salespeople don't win because they're smarter than other people. They win because they're actually willing to let go of the way that they think. They let go of their ego, they stay curious, and they listen. Like a sponge, they're absorbing everything and they're putting it to use instead of overthinking things. And by the end of this video, you'll understand what I mean when I say sometimes you just need to shut your brain off to learn more. The good thing about sales and life in general is that we never have to reinvent the wheel. We never have to come up with things on our own because there's always a blueprint laid out for us to follow. The problem is that when a lot of people come into sales or they go into business in general, they always think that they have to reinvent the wheel and do something that's never been done before. And when you think about it logically, it does make sense because you're trying to be unique, right? Like if you're trying to make money, you're trying to do something that a lot of people aren't doing. But in reality, people that do the opposite are actually the ones that end up making the most money, because when you're doing something that's already been proven and other people have done it before, you actually have an example to follow. Just imagine you have somebody as your mentor. Say they're making like 50K plus per month, and all you have to do is ask them how they did it, follow exactly what they did, and just follow that. It sounds simple, right? But the problem is most people, they're just too smart for their own good. And that's why it takes me back to the topic of this video, which is that dumb people often become more successful than the smart people. Because the problem with smart people is they always overthink things. And reality is often more simple than it seems, and it's easy to want to overcomplicate things, but what you need to do is you need to make things more simple. Like just imagine this. Imagine I took the dumbest man in the world on one hand, and then I took the smartest man in the world on another hand. Say I put the dumbest man with a sales coach, say the coach is making like 50K a month, and then I let the smart person go on his own, and I just give him a bunch of videos and resources to follow. What's going to happen is the smart man, he's more likely to go through the resources quickly, and then he's going to try to come up with his own solutions on how he can sell. He's going to come up with his own way to sell, his own script, tactics, and things like that, and he's going to put them to use. But on the opposite end, the dumb guy, he's just going to sit back, he's going to examine what his mentor is doing, and then he's just going to copy what he's doing. He's going to follow the script. He's going to follow his tone. He's going to handle objections the same way he does. He's going to follow him down to a T. And the reality of the situation is that the dumb guy, he's going to excel a lot quicker than the smart guy because he's following what's already been proven. He's got the blueprint right in front of him. All he had to do was humble himself and listen and put what he learned to action. The smart guy that's in a room by himself, on the other hand, he's learning on his own. He might get there eventually, but it's going to take him a lot longer because he's been trying to reinvent the wheel. And my point here is that sometimes we just need to shut our brain down and we just need to copy somebody who's already proven to be successful. And it sounds simple to do, and most people, they just don't do it though. And I don't know what the reason is. Maybe they have too big of an ego, but that's why most people in sales don't end up succeeding. About 98% of people that come into sales are gone within the first 6 months, I believe. And there's a reason why. They didn't open their ears enough. They had their mouth open too much. They didn't listen to what they were being told by their mentors, and they failed. The people that did succeed, all they did was listen. They followed the exact steps they were told to do, and that's why they have longevity in sales. Most people in sales have trouble grasping this concept because they confuse originality with mastery. They believe that if they're copying somebody, it's just inauthentic or it feels fake. It's like everybody wants to be original for some reason. Everybody wants to reinvent the wheel, but so few people are capable of doing so. So why not take the easy route and speed up the process and just follow the proven roadmap? To make it easier to understand for anybody that plays sports or played basketball specifically, it's like the same thing in terms of different skill levels throughout the different eras of basketball. Like you had Dr. J era back in the day. The things that he was doing were unseen, and the kids watched him growing up, and they basically copied his moves and they brought it to the next generation. Then we had the Magics, the Birds, the Jordans, people of that era. And then after that, what happened? They copied him. People copied him when we get to the 2000s. People took Jordan's moveset, they took Magic and Birds, they came up with their own skill set, and they added to it. Then we got the Kobe's, we got the T-Max, LeBrons, etc. And then look what happened now. We got the same thing happening, the younger generation. They got their skill set from those same people, Kobe's, LeBrons, and they just add to it. And the whole point is just to prove that there's no reinvention of the wheel. It's just copying what others do, maybe adding a little bit to it, but it's no different in the game of basketball than it is in the game of life, in the game of sales. If you go on YouTube and you find sales coaching and any type of sales from high-level people, why do you think that all their advice that they're giving out is pretty much similar to one another? It's not by coincidence. It's because everybody uses the same fundamentals to sell people. No one's really doing anything unique. Like, the unique mechanism about it is who you are as a person, and that's what differentiates people. It's not the technique and the skill. Another reason why dumb people are often more successful in sales is because they're easy to coach. Like, they just do what they're told. Smart people, on the other hand, they overthink things. They want to ask questions. They want to know why this and why that. They want to be in control, and they want to know how the complete process works, when in fact all they need to do is worry about one thing at a time. And that's why these smarter people, they overthink themselves out of the business in general, and they end up quitting because they get too overwhelmed. In other words, they want to know every single thing about the business model before they even start out with the basics. On the other hand, the person that will just shut up and listen and gets to work, they're going to learn all that stuff along the way, and a lot quicker, because they're actually putting things into action. And each time they put something new into action, they're learning something new. And they're learning these things each time they're building up their bag. And then out of their bag, they have all this stuff that they've learned that they can pull out. They can pull it out, and they eventually, they're going to know everything. And that's how it works in sales. You don't just learn everything up front and then expect somehow to increase your sales. You have to take action, get to work, and you just have to fail a lot of times. Like, I hate to tell you, but the best teacher is failure. Something that I found hard to believe was that some people's ego is so big that they're making $0 a month. They're getting advice from somebody that's making like $50K a month, and they still want to argue with that person. They want to do things their way. They want to tell them that they're wrong and that their way of doing things is right. And I'm not just making this stuff up. Like, I've actually witnessed in sales firsthand this happening. Like, people making next to no money per month in sales, trying to argue with people that are trying to give them advice that are making like 40, 50, 60K a month. And what I observed is that these people, they won't ever learn to take a back seat and be humble. They're always going to stick to their own ways. They're hard-headed. Whatever happens every single time, they force themselves out of the business just by doing that. They're out of sales within a couple months because they try to do things their way. It doesn't work, and then what happens? They don't want to take the advice they were given. They don't put it to use. They lead themselves to their own demise. So stay away from that. Change your mindset. That's really not the type of person you want to be if you're in sales. If I can leave you with anything from this video that you can take with you in any sales job that you have, it's that you need to find a mentor that's doing way higher numbers than you are each month. Just shadow them, see what they're doing, observe, and then do the exact same thing that they're doing. If they give you advice, you need to take that advice blindly, put it to use, and get to work. I guarantee you, if you keep doing that consistently, you have no choice but to get better. Like, you have no choice. If you put in the same amount of work they do, you'll be on their level at some point, and you might even exceed them. One thing you have to realize is that the process is different for each person. It might take some people longer to get to their destination than other people, but you just have to put all that stuff to the back of your mind, and you have to realize that you'll get to your destination no matter what. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You'll get there. And that's all I have to talk about in today's video. I hope you took some valuable lessons out of this that you can actually put to use and start seeing results. If there's any questions you still have, drop them below in the comments. If there's any topics you want me to make a video about, also put those in the comments. Don't forget to show some love, drop a like as well. And as you know, I will be back with more content.